you go,
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego Unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
Oh, yes. Let's get unpacked. We are back. Abel Sanchez, longtime trainer of Gennady Triple G Golovkin. Had no guys, his punch is nothing. His tick, 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 nothing. Has weighed in again on a potential Crawford fight versus Canelo. And we're going to keep doing this over and over again. Like the Nelly song, over and over again. Because me as a content creator, when I put stuff out, people say, oh, Ego, you just hating. You just don't like Bud. And then, like clockwork, you have industry professionals, trainers, fighters. They start saying what I told y'all. So, yeah, y'all going to learn to put some respect on my name, the best in the business, and it's not even close. So I'm going to start off with Abel Sanchez. We going to be spending a lot of quality time together. See you later, sweetie, honey, sugar. What movie is that from? Let me do it again. We going to be spending a lot of quality time together. See you later, sweetie, honey, sugar. Y'all don't know y'all movies. I know y'all not going to guess that one. Without further ado, Abel Sanchez on Crawford moving up to fight baby, you want baby, I know that, Canelo Alvarez. Roll the clip.
I think it's a ridiculous fight myself. I think that Crawford is too small. Canelo is, in my opinion, the face of boxing right now. I think that look at his resume. I think it's a good fight for a little while. Crawford's hand speed will, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the hand speed was evident at the beginning of the fight. But as the fight goes on, Canelo's going to start pounding on him, and I think that the fight ends somewhere between the 9th and 12th round.
You really think because of the size difference, he can stop Crawford?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that anything Canelo hits him with is going to hurt him. He won't be able to catch him early because, like I said, the speed and the foot speed and the hand speed. And Crawford's a heck of a fighter at his own weight. 54, when he fought Madrimov in his last fight, showed us that he can't really, the weight makes a difference. I don't care how much weight he gains and how much he does to try to get up to that level, 168, it's going to make a difference.
Isn't this exactly what I've been telling y'all on the channel? Like almost verbatim. Shout out to Abel Sanchez. I love my job. It makes me feel like Superman. This is amazing. When Boxing Ego say it, I'm hating. I'm a big hater. But Abel Sanchez just said what I've been telling you. What is going on? And here's the thing. Everybody that including me, that I hear break down the fight, they are all giving Crawford credit for being a good fighter. Nobody has said, oh, I hate Crawford. He's trash. He sucks at boxing. Nobody is saying that. However, if you keep upping the ante time and time again, and you start getting older on top of that, and you keep trying to explore and push boundaries again and again, yeah, that combination doesn't oftentimes work for athletes. Like, it don't matter how good you are. Like, there's usually a stop. Like, Tom Brady is the GOAT when it comes to, and I respect Tom Brady. I'm a 49ers fan. So My favorite quarterbacks are like Steve Young and Joe Montana because I grew up on them. You know what I mean? But I still give credit and respect to Tom Brady. But there's a stopping point, right? Where he decided to call it a career. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, an idol of mine, you know, where his body, you know, same moves that he's made hundreds of thousands of times. This time it messed up his Achilles, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I'm not saying necessarily Crawford's going to get injured per se. It's just you're so late in the game and you keep trying to push the envelope, right? And Crawford and his fans, I think they know what I'm saying is true. That's why they're really mad. They're not mad that I'm a liar or what I'm saying is far-fetched. They're mad because I'm speaking the truth and I'm unapologetic. Let's really break it down because we unpack. Let me break it down. That's what they truly mad at. They're mad that I'm saying what I'm saying. It makes sense because if I was like insane and I was saying something, they would just let me make a fool of myself. And if I was insane, you wouldn't have so many people in the industry parroting what I've been saying, like Abel Sanchez. He said it's a ridiculous fight. You just heard it. He said it's a ridiculous fight. So what does that mean when a person says it's a ridiculous fight? Huh?
The juggernaut!
That don't sound good. A ridiculous fight. Crawford's too small. And he says, I don't care how much weight he gains. Here's the thing with the weight gain. Let's make this real simple. You can gain weight, but gaining functional weight naturally within the rules of boxing, no banned substances, nothing, to do it naturally becomes more of a challenge because not only do you have to bulk up to the said weight, you have to be good at that weight and you have to have functional muscle and speed and power and ring IQ. Like, it's just different. I mean, it sucks that I have to break it down so elementary because people try to make what I'm saying sound so foreign. And to me, it's kind of common sense. But common sense ain't common, I guess, right? So it's hard to move up in one motion, one fell swoop, jump up 14 pounds, and your punch resistance is better than it's ever been. Your speed, your power looks immaculate, impeccable, better than it's ever been. Your footwork, and you're older. Like Crawford will be 38 by the time this fight happens. Within the same month, he turns 38, right? And I think that's why he doesn't want to do no tune-up. He doesn't want to acclimate the proper way. He's just all in. I think I could beat Canelo. I'm willing to get paid for it and test the theory. Turkey is crazy enough to think this is a huge fight that is not going to disappoint people and throw money at it. You know what I mean? And that's why we're here. That's literally, truly why we're here right now. And I think it's a bad move. I've been critical and said that from the beginning. Weight matters. You know, I feel like some people take, like, let's say Floyd Mayweather. Floyd will say certain things and it's cool and flashy, but I don't know if it can be taken literally. Like, Floyd says stuff that sounds cool in boxing. Like, oh, these guys, they can't beat me. They all some bums. I'm eating KFC. I'm eating Burger King, McDonald's. Right after my fight, I'm drinking soda. I don't watch no tape, right? And he's saying this stuff, and some of it might be true. Like, yeah, I seen him drinking soda. I seen him at the Taco Bell line ordering food, right? But don't get it twisted. He has a chef. He's not eating like that every meal. And he's also working out 2-3 times a day to the point where his metabolism is fast and he's going to burn that right off, right? Like, he might discipline himself like, oh, I ate Taco Bell today, so I'm going to put in 12 miles or 9 miles or whatever. So kind of balances out. But one thing that Floyd said that I think people took and kind of ran with is weight don't matter. There's a context there. It does matter, bro. Like, and here's the big thing. No matter what Floyd says, these other dudes ain't Floyd. Crawford, other than being black and American and undefeated, there's really no similarity to Floyd Mayweather. They don't fight alike at all. There's no like, hey, I can see it's not Ken and Ryu, right? Hadouken. It's not the same at all, right? And that's that. So it's like some people really love this sport of boxing, but they don't know about boxing. Because I hear people saying, oh, Mayweather did this. Why are we comparing anything that Mayweather did in 2013 with Canelo to this version of Canelo at a higher weight, years removed, like literally a decade plus removed from the Mayweather-Canelo fight? Like, it's sensible, is senseless, is nonsensical. Like, imagine me playing LeBron James when he was at St. Mary's St. Vincent and I beat him in a game and I'm still talking about it. Bro, that's corny. Like, this man is 40 years old now. He's evolved. He's gotten rings. He got bigger. You know what I mean? He got experience. He been on Dream Team. Like, it's like a different LeBron, right? And that's the same thing with this Crawford Canelo fight. If anybody compares anything about this fight to Mayweather Canelo, to me, you automatically don't know about boxing, because how could you compare a fight from 2013 to now? You know, it's like comparing Denzel when he did that movie with the British accent and people were roasting him to the Denzel today, like Fences, Hurricane, Training Day Denzel. Like, yes, it's the same person, but that was many movies ago, many Oscars ago. You know, Denzel has worked and perfected his craft. He a different beast now. You know what I mean? And Mayweather, Canelo, Floyd was the A side. So he got to have everything his way. You know what I mean? Canelo's team said they would fight him at 150, so he held him to it, and then he made him fight at 152, a catch weight, right? Crawford ain't getting no catch weight. He not getting no options. This ain't Errol Spence. I would be shocked. I'm not even going to say I would be shocked because it's not going to happen. Canelo is not giving Crawford options on his own. You know, if Turkey punk him or something to say, hey, we're not giving you $100 million unless you give some things to Crawford, you know, maybe that's the only way it'll happen. But if it's up to Canelo, if Canelo's left to his devices, he's not giving Crawford a bigger ring so he can move around. He's not changing the glove sizes to accommodate and like put bigger gloves on. He's not changing the rounds. He's not changing the amount of minute. He's not gonna do anything. Rehydration clause. He's not gonna put one on himself. He's not gonna do anything to cap off his success. Period. So to me, it's like Abel Sanchez said. This is just a dumb fight all across the board. It's a dumb fight, and I can't wait for it, because if it plays out anything like I'm picturing, you guys are gonna be like, "Oh, Boxer Ego was right." Ha ha ha. You know, again, the only caveat I have is if Canelo looked horrible or something in the Williams Skull fight and he got old overnight and loses the Skull, or arguably lost, and he just looked like a shell of his former self. But the Canelo that's been fighting Munguia and Berlanga even though I don't think it's a prime Canelo at all. He's been golfing. He's been fighting since he's 15. I still think it's enough with the advantages he has to beat Terence Crawford, right? And Abel Sanchez, he broke it down very well, in my opinion. He said between rounds 9 and 12, Crawford is out of here. He said everything that Canelo lands, Crawford's going to feel. And Crawford, a bit fleet-footed, and he got hand speed. So he's going to give Canelo issue. But then what? You know what I mean? And here's the thing. Another reason why I don't see why people think this is an amazing fight is it reminds me of the Amir Khan fight. Amir Khan was beating Canelo down. For real, for real. He won the first 4 rounds to me. And then he got knocked out. Soon as Canelo closed distance, got his timing down, it was over. And that's the danger with fights like this, because you could do everything right as the smaller man, but the one thing you do wrong, it's over. And that's why I don't like fights like that, right? I don't want to see fights where it's like this fake David versus Goliath and two people who really naturally aren't close to the same weight class, and then you put them in. Like, if we're doing this, why doesn't Bam Rodriguez move up and fight Jaron Ennis? You know, why don't we just start playing musical chairs and do Keyshawn Davis versus Bam Rodriguez and like Jaron Ennis versus whoever who's at 130? You know what I mean? It's just, this is not boxing to me. It's a novelty fight because Crawford has some name cachet after beating Errol Spence especially, and Canelo is a star. Other than that, I don't see the allure for the fight. And if the fight happens, I don't think it's going to deliver what people are expecting, you know? I really don't. And again, moving up in weight is a process. Like, I'm just going to be real with you guys. If Crawford went in there and beat Canelo down and stopped him, people are going to question if Crawford was natural. Being honest with you. I truly believe that. I'm going to say it again for the slow people in the back. Let's say I'm wrong. I'm way off base. And Crawford go in there and destroy Canelo Alvarez. Stop him even. Knock him down, stop him. Things that have never happened to Canelo in all these fights from age 15 to 34, whatever age he is or whatever. So he been boxing more than half his life. If Crawford move up 14 pounds after not being able to stop Madrimov and not being able to drop Madrimov or badly hurt Madrimov, and he went up 2 more weight classes with no tune-ups, Canelo's getting a tune-up in May against William Skull, someone who's bigger than Canelo, bigger than Crawford as well. And then Crawford just do and knock out Canelo. People are going to say he's on something for sure, because it's going to be like, where did that come from? Right? Where did that come from? So we'll see. I can't wait, because to me it's going to be a show, and I can't wait to see how it play out. Either I'm going to be right, I'm going to be wrong. It don't matter. I'm still getting paid. Yeah, I'm still making money. Yeah, I'm still getting that money. So I don't care. It is what it is. If the powers that be want to make this fight, make the fight then. Let's see it. You know, I don't mind being wrong. It's rare, but I don't mind it. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it plays out. But I'm saying the same thing that I've been saying, which now other people are speaking out, like Abel Sanchez. And here's another reason why this fight sounds stupid. Crawford, about a year and a half ago, he's on camera, and I don't make me make another video about it, because, hey, listen, Bud exposed. If y'all want me to expose Bud with this video I'm talking about, type Bud exposed. If enough of y'all type Bud exposed, I'm on it, and I'll make the video, because I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. That's $25,000 alpaca. You don't wipe that, you blot that. So listen, I'm gonna leave it to the fans. But Bud is on tape where he's saying that boxing fans don't know what they're talking about. His max cap out weight is 154, right? This is not too long ago. He said this on camera that people don't know what they're talking about. They want him to fight Canelo. So even Bud, from his own mouth, his own admission, felt not too long ago that moving up to where Canelo was, right, was basically a bad idea and a pipe dream. So I don't know where this newfound confidence is, where he wants to suddenly fight Canelo at 168 with no tune-ups, but it seems weird. It truly does. Canelo's getting a tune-up. You don't want a tune-up. You're with Snack, and you previously said that you can't really go past 154. You're on tape saying this. I have the tape. Again, if y'all want me to expose it, I will. Please challenge me. If enough of y'all put Bud exposed, I'll put the tape out. So what changed where you were talking about 154? And then here's the thing. Now that I can prove that this tape is existing, where Bud said his max weight is 154, and then fighting Canelo doesn't make sense because the weight classes, you guys don't get how boxing works. I could prove that, right? So my question is, what changed? Canelo kept winning outside of the Bivol fight, right? And then now all of a sudden Bud feels like, hey, I want to move up, no tune-up, and I want to fight him. So I agree with Abel Sanchez. It's a ridiculous fight. It's two people with names, and this is the downside. You guys are praising Turkey. Oh, Turkey's saving boxing. No. If Turkey was saving boxing, he'd give me Canelo versus David Benavidez. That's the fight I've been asking for. You guys lie in my comment section and be like, oh, Turkey gave us the fights that we've been asking for. No, he didn't. None of these fights have been fights I've asked for. I asked for specifically Canelo, David Benavidez. I'm even down for David Benavidez, Bivol. And I really wanted to see Canelo versus Jake Paul because it's a big event. So it would have just been funny and it would have made a lot of money. And it would be like, oh, I want to see how Canelo looks at 190 fighting Jake Paul. What's the outcome? It probably would have been entertaining. You know what I mean? Turkey getting in the way of all these fights. Pretty much saying Bivol, might drop one of the belts rather than fight Benavidez on PBC. Got in the way of Canelo, Jake Paul. And to make fights like Canelo Skull and Canelo Crawford, I just don't see the vision. I really don't. And again, I ask you, Crawford not too long ago said him moving beyond 154 is not going to happen. So why is he, what changed? Because for me, you would have had a better argument if you looked sharper and more destructive versus Madrimov. But we all watched you fight Madrimov tooth and nail, which hurt the Canelo fight. So for me, I thought everybody was going to just drop it and that Canelo would move on and hopefully fight Benavidez, and Crawford would hopefully fight Boots or Virgil Ortiz or Fundora or Murtazaev, the killers at 154, or maybe even Jermell Charlo, after he does a tune-up or so, right? So that's what I was hoping. Because the way Crawford looked versus Madrimov, it didn't excite, and it wasn't a good audition tape that made me, as a diehard boxing fan and personality, that did not inspire me to say, hey, Bud fought Madrimov, and now I want to see him move up another 14 pounds when he's in a competitive fight right here at 154 with a guy with 11 fights, a guy who barely had the experience, who Virgil Ortiz after beat better than Bud Crawford did, right? You would have had to show me more at 154. Like, you would have to take Madrimov and ragdoll him. Crawford didn't do that. So for me, I already felt this way, but after watching Crawford Madrimov, it only made it worse because for me, he didn't look destructive enough. His knockout streak ended at this current weight. So to me, I'd rather see you fight Murtazaev. There's some good competitive fights. He's not going to get paid what he would get paid for Canelo, and that's what it seems like this is about to me. This is just about a payday. It's about a payday. Of course, an opportunity. Like, hey, I'll be in the history books if I beat Canelo. So Crawford feels like he has leverage with Turkey, and he's trying to skip people in line, and he might even do it, and get the Canelo fight. Canelo, we know he don't like to challenge himself. He not fighting no David Benavidez or David Morrell at this point, right? So he's already feels like, oh, I fought Triple G and Floyd. I could do whatever I want. I lost to Bivol. I ain't trying to lose again. So yeah, Canelo, it works for him because he want to get paid a lot, and he don't want to fight people his size and people with experience at his weight. So it's a match made in heaven with him and Bud Crawford. But for me, I'm not compelled by this fight, and I'm going to keep saying that until the day this fight happens, until I see something different. And again, too many questions. Like, why is Canelo, the guy who's been for 8 or 9 years fighting over 160 pounds, why is he doing the tune-up? Why not the guy who has no fights at 160 or above, and he would have to fight Canelo, the best guy at 168, undisputed if he beats Skull? Why is that guy not taking the tune-up? Nothing about this makes sense. And to be honest, it would have been a better story because Crawford, if he beat William Skull, right, then he would have the last belt that Canelo needs, and that would feel more like a true undisputed fight instead of the guy who's already been undisputed in the past at super middleweight, lost his belt on a technicality. William Skull got it, and then he goes back and becomes 2x undisputed if he beats Skull. And then Crawford, who's done nothing in these higher weight classes, skips the line and gets the fight. It's too forced. This is such a reach. It's such a reach that it's like off-putting to me. This is not a good fight. And then, like I said, we gonna see. Abel Sanchez, he's mirroring exactly what I've been telling you. Crawford's too small, ridiculous fight. Canelo's the face of boxing. And another reason I'm speaking out and so vocal about this fight is because you guys are trying to fake hype it up. And I think ultimately boxing fans will be let down when this fight happens, if it even happens, right? I think it'll be a letdown. And like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but I just want to give y'all food for thought because we unpacked. The reality is this. Let's say Crawford, let's say I'm wrong, because people keep, but Errol Spence. Canelo don't have nothing to do with Errol Spence, but whatever. Let's say I'm wrong, right? And Crawford whoops Canelo bad. What does that do for boxing? Like, honestly, you have a guy who's the face of boxing and can draw an audience, and then a guy who on paper was mad smaller than him and moving up, and then you get destroyed by the smaller person. To me, that's not necessarily great for boxing, because what would Crawford do with that? Right? He's gonna be 38 in September. What do you do for that? Like, you don't. If you get the Canelo fight, there is no going backwards. There's nothing really bigger for you at this age and at this point that's realistic. So even if he won, what does that do for boxing? The guy that doesn't really sell like that outside of Omaha, okay, now he'll be undisputed. That's good for his personal legacy. But then now at age 38, what is he going to do? Retire? Rematch Canelo? He's not going to drop back down and fight Boots and Virgil Ortiz. So to me, it's just like displacing a fighter for no reason, where Crawford could do some real work at 154 and sew up his legacy. Tough fights down there. he's just taking this random shot and it's like win, lose, or draw. I don't really see how boxing is going to win from that because again, what can Crawford like I said, if Crawford, hypothetically, just think about what I'm saying to you. That's why I said food for thought. Let's say Crawford wins, right? Crawford wins. Then what does he do? At 38, is he going to stay at 168 and fight Caleb Plant and fight all comers? You know what I mean? He's going to fight the Kieron Davises and, you know, whoever else is at one, Trevor McCumbee and random people like that after fighting Canelo? Or he would just drop the belts and then maybe go to 160. I don't know. It's just I don't really see the vision for this whole fight. And to me, I agree with Abel Sanchez. It's ridiculous. And I think if it happens, we gonna see. We unpack.